In this video, we're going to do something called grouping, and grouping is a super convenient technique. So let's do a simple example. Let's bring in category, and I'm going to bring in sales. So just our standard kind of graphic. And let's say in my data set, I don't really want 3 bar charts. Maybe let's reverse this, make it like that. Okay. And I'm just going to make it a bit wider, which, no, you can't do it that way, right? And let's say office supplies and technology, they're really one bar chart. I don't want them separating. Okay, in what you would usually have to do if you're using Excel, for example, you go into your raw data and you would change those labels to have the same thing, right? And you would give it a new name. That's kind of annoying. It's pretty time consuming, and to go backwards and forwards as you're, analyzing your data, it gets a bit annoying. In Tableau, instead, what you can use is what's called groups. So I can highlight 2 things, and there's a number of ways I can do that. I can either do a square like so, right? Where you have to highlight in this area, right? If I highlight out here, nothing happens, see? So I want to be able to highlight there, and you'll see this paperclip, right? And if this menu disappears, you simply bring your mouse over, don't click, and just let it float like that. It'll come back up. So you can use that button, or you can right click and go group, right? And what you'll see is that we now have a group over here. All right, so if I can use that and bring it in, okay, and you'll see that we now have a group, okay, and if I get rid of this category, they'll be combined now into office supplies. So let's just reverse that just so you can see them together, right? And this is very useful. You can do it for more than just bar charts. You can do it for maps as well. So it's a great for setting regions. So let's do, before we do maps actually, let's do another example of this. I'm just going to clear everything using this clear sheet button. And I'm going to bring in, let's delete this old group. And you can tell it's a group, firstly, because it says group if you haven't renamed it. And you'll also see this paperclip. So let's go ahead and delete that group. All right. I'm going to bring category in, and I'm also going to bring subcategory. All right. Let's bring sales in again. You can put anything you want. We can put profit ratio this time, maybe. Right. And the same thing. Let's say I want to do a group in here. I just go like so. Group, and I can either group in the subcategory, in the category, or the whole thing. So I can do the whole thing, let's say, right? And you'll see that there is now a new group up here that you can use as anything you want in here, and it's also color coded it automatically. So let's bring that in and see what happens. So if I bring that in, you'll see that, oh, maybe not that one, maybe in here. You'll see that it's its own group now. And this is really useful because, especially in my line of work, if I just go back, if my boss or my manager or my business or my division, whatever I'm working in, right, in terms of the data set, I want to group certain things. I don't have to go into Excel and do, VLOOKUPs or indexes and, get rid of the duplicates, allocate, it's a lot of steps. Whereas in here, I can just go, yep, that's a group, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one, group them, all dimensions, and I'm ready to go. And I can just make use of that. And that took like a second. Compared to Excel, that would take you maybe at least 10 minutes to do all that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And now let's do another one, but this time using maps. So let's go ahead and do a new sheet, like so. And what we're going to do is grab, let's do a complex one. Let's do city. So let's just double click the city. Now I've got all the cities. And I'm going to make the dots just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go here to size, just a little bit smaller. And let's say I wanted to create 3 regions, right? This is the most common application I see for maps and grouping. If I do, let's say this area, and this area, those are my 3 groups, right? And I want to have a color coding within those groups. So here's how I would do it. The first thing I would do is I would select the area. So much like the bar chart, you can either do it by square, like so, right? Or you can use the lasso. Let's say I want to do like that area. So now I've got them all selected. I can create that as a group, right? And let us go, let me just think. Yep, we should be fine. So let's highlight this top part here, like so. Let's go group, and we're going to group the whole thing. So city, state, and country, right? And as you can see, it's its own color now. All right. Now here's the problem that I see a lot of people do. See this kind of edge, right, where one meets the other? In order to do the other sections, you have to go like this, and it's really easy to miss one, and it's really meticulous because like if I click over here, then I lose my selection. So the easiest way I found to do it is I'm going to click this to go back to the normal one. I'm going to get rid of all these blue ones. Okay, I'm going to filter them out. So I'm going to grab this group that has now been created from my first filter, and I'm going to drop it into filter. Right? So we'll go like this. And this first group is this blue one right here. So let's call this north. Right? Oh, we'll make it the northern region in a second. So I'm just going to untick that, go OK. So now I've filtered out that top one. So if I zoom out, you'll see it. Right? So now you got that top one filtered out. To rename any of these sections that you make, you just go to this group. You go to, where's it? Edit group, right? And from here, you can rename it. So I go rename using that. I'm going to call this northern. All right, and you'll see all the other areas still not yet allocated, and we'll do that in a second. So go OK, right? Then we do the next one. So I'm just going to click here. Let's divide it. Oops, where's my lasso? Yeah, ride 'em, cowboy. All right. So we do the next section, and we're going to go group, right? I'm going to go to the next section. I'm going to go group, right? Just give that a second. It's thinking, right? And the reason it's disappeared is because of this filter. Because as I've been doing it, it only wants to keep those null or those the other non-allocated ones for now. Okay, so now if we bring these all back, I can go all and go OK. You can see that they have now been color coded. How cool is that? Right? And I can rename these sections. So I know this Aachen, Germany is, what's this? Let's say, what is this? Southeast, right? So we can rename that group. So we go edit group. This one, rename, we go southeast, which means this one is southwest. Right? Okay. Okay. Right? And we can now remove this filter because that's the thing that's filtering these out. We don't need that no more. And now we have our colors. All right, pretty cool. There's an added benefit of using groups. Because you've used the map to actually do your analysis, you can make use of this group anywhere you want, any way you want now, because it's now sorry, not that one, this one, because it's now a column of data. And I'll show you what I mean. If you select this button right here, you can actually view your data set. So go ahead and click that. And you'll see that it's actually a column of information now that you've created. You can export this to Excel. You can do whatever you like after that. But what I like to do if I'm building a dashboard is I want to see not only the regions that I've set, right, but also let's say how many sales per region, right, which didn't exist in the raw data set. So if I go to a new sheet, right, I can bring in that group that I just made. So we're going north, south, east, southwest. I can bring sales in. Let's drop that in there. Let's put some labels and let's put some colors. Right, nice and pretty. Let's make it highest to lowest. And we can now build a dashboard off that. So if I look for, where's it, sheet 10 and sheet 11. Right, let's get rid of that. And actually what we'll do is we'll match these colors with these colors. And the way we do that is we just go back. We're going to grab city, country, and state. I'm going to drop that into color, right? And Tableau will know to match these colors to anything else that's using this data set. So if I go back to dashboard 2, you'll see that they match. So you got the blue, which is northern, southeast, southwest. Let's just make this a little bit smaller so we can see it. Like so, right? And we can now use that as a filter. So if I press this filter button, right, I click southeast, it'll show me southeast, southwest, and northern. I mean, how cool is that? We could never ever do this like a year ago. Until Tableau came along, you just can't do this kind of analysis, right? You can get other softwares, but Tableau's the easiest I've found to do it. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.